Our nonprofit is a fiscal sponsor for projects without a 501c3 status. We receive funds, hold them on behalf of a project founder, and pay them upon request. We withhold an administrative fee. Are these income and expenses or not? Also, our project founders need a report showing the balance due to them. Is this report available in QuickBooks Desktop, or do we need to export the transactions to Excel and figure it out from there? All right, so I'll take these questions separately. One, the accounting piece, and one, the click, how do we do it piece. So if there are different types of fiscal sponsorship, and for anybody interested in doing something amazing in the world, but not wanting to go to the expense and hassle of creating a 501c3, your new vocabulary today is fiscal sponsorship. So what that means is you can do what you want to do. You can raise money, you can spend that money to make a difference in the world on your project, to make the world a better place. And you can have a 501c3 acting as your fiscal sponsor. That means people who donate actually donate to them. They get the tax deduction to whatever extent the law currently would allow. They get the deductions for donating to a non-for-profit. Then the nonprofit passes through the money to you, and they'll probably withhold an administrative fee for doing so. Now, what you need to do as the project leader is to give your fiscal sponsor some information so they can prove to anybody who needs to see it that you're legit and that the money is going towards its intended purpose. Because any fraud that's committed at the level of a project could put the target right on the forehead of the fiscal sponsor. You don't want that to happen. So keep the information flowing smoothly. And as such, this project, the cash flows related to this project are in fact deemed income and expenses to the fiscal sponsor, because it's like a project that they're taking on with their own personnel. They just don't have, let's say, personnel costs. So they might take in $10,000 on your behalf and pay out $9,500 of it to you. They're going to show that $10,000 as income. They're going to show the $9,500 as expenses, and they can use that $500 for their own operations, whether it's to, reinvest in fundraising efforts, or for administrative support and making everything else possible, or program supplies, or whatever else that they're doing. They can keep that and use that money for their own purposes. So yes, it's income and expense to the sponsoring organization. Your second question, so if your organization has lots of projects, or your organization is the fiscal sponsor, then yes, you can definitely, as long as your data entry supports this, you can, like in 3 clicks, you can produce a report to your project leaders or project founders showing how much is due to them. And in order to do that, you need to record every deposit. So if they want to know how much is due to them and also who contributed as part of their project. So record every deposit tagged with 2 pieces of information: who donated, and also that it's part of this project. In QuickBooks Desktop, you can use class tracking. You can record those deposits with a sales receipt, and you can use items. And of course, the donor name, you can use a customer job field, and you can have the project name be the customer, and then the job under that being the person who donated. So there are a lot of different ways you can do it. We're not going to right now go through the pros and cons of each, but I'd be happy to have a private call with you to discuss just that, and we can see what makes sense for your organization. So you can use a customer job field, you can use items, you can use class tracking, and then simply run a report filtered for those customers, or filtered for that class, or filtered for those items. And then really in 3 clicks, you get the information that you need to show how much you owe out, which in essence is how much you've got in, less your fee that you're going to withhold, minus everything you already paid out. That's how much you owe out.